Welcome to Iraqi Dinar Update, your go-to source for the latest news, expert insights, and real-time developments on Iraq's currency, economy, and financial reforms. Whether you're a long-time investor or just curious about the dinar, you're in the right place. When discussing the potential for a reinstatement or revaluation of a nation's currency, such as the Iraqi dinar, one of the most critical and widely monitored economic indicators by global financial institutions is inflation. Low and stable inflation is not just a numerical target for central banks. It is a foundational element that signals the health, maturity, and readiness of a country's monetary and fiscal system. When inflation is under control, it indicates that the central bank has the ability to manage money supply, interest rates, and other monetary tools effectively. This is particularly important for institutions like the International Monetary Fund, IMF, the World Bank, and foreign investors, because it reduces uncertainty and builds confidence in the country's economic management. In the context of Iraq, low inflation has become a strategic objective, especially as the country positions itself for broader financial reform and international reintegration. For many years, Iraq faced economic turbulence from wars, sanctions, political instability, and shifts in oil revenues. These factors had a direct impact on price levels, currency depreciation, and overall economic volatility. But in more recent times, Iraq has taken major steps to restructure its monetary policies under the supervision and advice of entities like the IMF. The country's adoption of tighter budgetary controls, implementation of digital payment systems, introduction of banking modernization programs, and better coordination between the Ministry of Finance and the Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, all aim at achieving a stable economic environment. Inflation, by definition, is the rate at which prices for goods and services increase over time. High inflation erodes the purchasing power of a currency, which discourages savings and long-term investment. Conversely, deflation, a fall in prices, can signal weak demand and lead to economic stagnation. Therefore, most countries and international financial institutions aim for moderate, predictable inflation. When inflation is consistently low, usually within a target range of 2% to 5%, it provides an optimal environment for business operations, international trade, and financial planning. This kind of stability is necessary before any major moves are made in the foreign exchange space, such as a revaluation or reinstatement of a previously devalued currency. The Central Bank of Iraq has shown over the past few years that it is increasingly capable of managing inflation. Even under intense external pressure, such as oil market fluctuations, regional conflict, and post-pandemic global economic stress, the CBI has kept inflation relatively contained. By doing so, it sends a strong signal to international observers that Iraq is not just relying on oil revenues or foreign aid to sustain its economy. Instead, it is actively shaping a monetary policy framework that is coherent, forward-looking, and aligned with international best practices. That said, low inflation alone does not guarantee a currency revaluation or reinstatement. It is a key component, but not the only one. A revaluation, a process where a country's currency increases in value relative to other currencies, requires a convergence of several factors. These include strong foreign reserves, a current account surplus, political stability, a reliable legal framework, diversified economic output beyond just natural resources, and international demand for the currency. In Iraq's case, the reduction and stabilization of inflation is being interpreted as one of the key indicators of its economic recovery. Many who watch Iraq's monetary policy, especially those who are interested in the possibility of a dinar revaluation, see low inflation as a green flag. It does not mean a revaluation will occur tomorrow, or even in the near term. But it does mean that Iraq is checking off a vital box in the list of prerequisites for such a move. Think of it like a checklist an airline goes through before takeoff. Inflation control is like checking the engines. It doesn't guarantee the flight will depart immediately, but without it, there would be no flight at all. Moreover, maintaining low inflation over time demonstrates consistency. One good year is not enough to warrant international confidence. The IMF and World Bank look for patterns, multi-year performance that shows Iraq is not merely benefiting from a temporary spike in oil prices or an isolated financial windfall. Rather, they want to see a strategic commitment to macroeconomic discipline. That includes enforcing taxation policies, reducing black market activity, integrating the informal economy, ensuring banking transparency, and maintaining capital adequacy in the financial sector. Inflation is a mirror that reflects how well these broader strategies are functioning in harmony. Low inflation also supports the local population. When prices are stable, it means that people can plan for the future. They are more likely to invest in property, save money, start businesses, or purchase durable goods. All of these activities stimulate the domestic economy, reduce dependence on government handouts, and foster a culture of self-reliance and entrepreneurship. From a monetary policy standpoint, a population that trusts its currency is the best insurance policy against capital flight or dollarization, where citizens abandon the national currency in favor of more stable foreign currencies like the US dollar. Another aspect is investor confidence. Foreign investors pay close attention to inflation rates. If they see that Iraq has a dependable inflation control regime, they are more likely to invest in infrastructure, energy, agriculture, and other key sectors. This investment brings in hard currency, creates jobs, and further strengthens the balance of payments. In turn, this builds the foundation for stronger currency fundamentals, possibly leading to appreciation or at least reduced exchange rate volatility. In summary, the consistent achievement of low and stable inflation in Iraq is not the endgame but an essential part of a broader economic transformation. It does not mean the Iraqi dinar will revalue or be reinstated at a specific rate like $3.22 or $4.81 just because inflation is low. But it does mean that Iraq is ready, or close to being ready, for such a consideration. It provides a strong argument to international institutions that Iraq is serious about its reforms, capable of sustaining them, and deserving of greater financial autonomy and credibility. That kind of macroeconomic stability is what underpins trust in any currency, and trust is the ultimate currency in global finance. So while inflation control might sound like a dry or technical subject, it is in fact the pulse of Iraq's economic heartbeat. And just as a healthy pulse suggests a strong body, low inflation suggests a healthy economy, one that may soon be ready to take its place at the table of strong, respected, and globally traded currencies. Thanks for tuning into Iraqi Dinar Update. If you found this content helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a beat on Iraq's evolving financial landscape. Stay informed and stay ready.